Hello and welcome, lucky gamers. What I have a blanket. It is cold here where I'm at. It is colder than it should normally be. But anyways, today we're gonna be talking about Black Dwarf. A lot of you guys are been waiting for me to make this guide. So I have her good old Kana, and I have all of the units that she works well with. Right, making this before she comes out. That way it can be a lot easier. So I'm gonna use the handy dandy guide to help us from Bridwin to read off the skills before we go in a deep dive into her abilities. But this is how she looks. She is a wonderful character. She is a mineral damage DPS character. She's a 6-star. She is going to be mental damage as well, which is really important because there's some content that still benefits mental damage. I know a lot of people are wondering of the reasons why to summon for this character, but there are still very strong reasons. The character does a lot of single target damage and can also self-heal herself, which I'll explain in the abilities versus trying to translate them. So it's going to be a single target attack, the ultimate perfection. I think it was singular perfection at one point. But after removing all planets, deal 600% mental damage and gain 2 full moons that can grant incantation might plus 6% each. Up to 3 planets can be carried. And you'll see that when we go over her kit and explain it, right? But there's going to be Saturn, Mars, and full moons or planets that share the same limit. Planet effects are stackable, cannot be dispelled. Saturn Divination, penetration rate plus 12%. Stackable and spent after attack. Mars Divination, leech rate plus 12%. Stackable, spent after attack. In full moon, incantation plus 12%. Stackable, spent after cast. Enchanted Strike, single target attack dealing 180% mental damage. After active casting, gain 1 Saturn that grants penetration rate plus 6%. Up to 3 planets can be carried. This goes all the way up to 450%. And then, depending on the level of the ability, it depends on how many planets you get. So you'll get 3 planets that grants penetration rate, 6% each. Up to 3 planets can be carried, so you can get a total of 18% penetration rate from having this ability level 3. And the Mythical Meteors, mass attack deals 135 mental damage to enemies. After active casting, gain 1 Mars that grants leech rate plus 6%. So, 335 mental to 2 enemies at level 3, 3 Mars, and then you get 18% leech rate. Her insights is what's really good and interesting. When the planet is removed, gain 1 of the following effects based off the type of planet removed. So Saturn, 12% pin, Mars, 12% leech, and full moon, 12% incantation might. So as a planet is removed, you're gaining a 12% of this effect here. So it allows her, if you're doing a good rotation, you can still keep the penetration rate, leech rate, incantation might as you're rotating out your planets, right? Insight 2, crit rate, 10%. I wish this was something else other than crit rate because it kind of entices you to build her into crit, which like you can, which is really good, just like straight up full power. After casting the ultimate, gain 1 effect based off the planet. I'm gonna explain this really easy. If you have level 1, if you have 1, 2, or 3 of the Saturn planets, then you can do a level 1, 2, or 3 of the Enchanted Strike ability. If you have 1, 2, or 3 planets of the Mars, which is red, then you can do level 1, 2, or 3 of the Mass Attack. If you have 1 to 2 full moon stacks, then you can get Empower Incantation and 2, which you can upgrade 2 abilities at the same time to be able to give you the 3, right? And then her portraits. The portraits allow you to rotate out planets. It's all about the planets. It doesn't improve the damage of the ult or anything, right? It's going mostly into her incantation damage, which is why like a lot of people would say like she doesn't get the strongest upgrades because it's really just quality of life on the planets. The first upgrade you get 4 planets, which some people say that this is necessary. I do not believe so, being that I have the character and she does really well even without it. The second one, she gets, instead of 2 full moon stacks, she gets 3, which is a quality of life improvement. For those of you who are wanting to go all the way into her, level 3, it improves the penetration rate and a little bit of the damage on the ability. Level 4 increases the leech rate, a little bit of the damage on the ability, and then 5 gives you 4 full moon stacks, and it also busts it up to 9%. Right? And then they have a couple of Psychubes that she could use, but Luxurious Leisure seems to be my favorite for her. So let's go ahead and showcase her. I might showcase her in. I'm gonna showcase her actually in the new event. Something kind of fun versus the usual place that I usually showcase my characters, like in global. We'll just do a balanced mode real quick. That's gonna make these videos a lot easier. Alright, so this is gonna be a 4-man team, but before we get into this, so what teammates does Kaalaa like, right? A lot of us as content creators have been talking about Pickles with her. Pickles is a great pick for her because, as you know, with Pickles, when you guys were using Pickles with Melania, characters that like to use a lot of AP like a character like Pickles because Pickles can get his ultimate without really using much AP, and it's a pretty decent buff, 30% damage dealt buff, right? And then as a healer, you would pair Tooth Fairy with her because Tooth Fairy just kind of helps characters crit if you do want them to crit. But is this the only team that you can run? No, 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 no. Not at all. You can run Black Dwarf with characters like Anna and Lee, and you can also run Shemaine with her. You can run the character with Baby Blue. You can run the character with even Sinetto. As long as you have a buffer with Black Dwarf, just like always, and then having a healer. If you don't have Tooth Fairy, then you can run Med Pocket. You can run pretty much anyone that you have available to you. So I'm going to show a 4-man team as well. So we're going to have, since I have the characters, we're going to show Black Dwarf, Pickles, Tooth Fairy. So then you would want a debuffer, right? Now, that debuffer can be that you like. Most of you in the 1.3 probably won't get this character, but you'll see why I have this guy later. I do not have Karate of the Heart yet, so we're just going to throw something on this character. Just sort of that. So, Shemaine is a debuffer. I will explain him later in another video because it's going to be in the second half of 1.3. But Tooth Fairy is going to be our healer, and Pickles is going to be our buffer. So we have a really nice even team here. Let's switch this back to our usual tuning. Okay, so this is a 1.1. This is a 1.3 team with 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 characters. I think it's perfect how all of this came together. So we're going to try to not let the supports outshine the DPS, because usually they do, right? Okay, so we want to stack the planets of our Kaalaa, right? And so since there's 2 enemies, we're going to go ahead and attack them. We're going to debuff again, and let's go ahead and use her attack so y'all can see how the planets go. Now typically you would want to focus on either the single target or the mass attack so you can stack those planets, right? So you see I got a red planet, that's going to be the leech rate. I got a yellow planet, that's going to be the penetration rate. So when you build your abilities, look at, okay, what color planets am I going to try to build? Alright, now I'm going to see if I can get some more enchanted strikes. See, I have a level 2 here now. So I'm going to go ahead and debuff. I'm not going to use the mass attack because I want to get all yellow planets, right? And I'm going to kind of force myself to somewhere. I'm going to try to force myself to get 5. That way you guys can see the ult and rotate it all out. But I need Pickles to gain some Moxie real quick. Alright, so he's at 5. Alright. You can see the damage of this too. The damage is going to go up with this character because she's continuously getting penetration rate. Now she's at 18%. If you keep using an enchanted strike, you'll just keep rotating pin rate out. But also, because of the I1, since we rotated out the red planet for leech rate, we would also have that 12% as well. Let's go ahead and just just kind of force her to get that. And let's go ahead and ult with Pickles. So we can get the 30% damage dealt buff. And he has a Clarified, so it's going to last for 3 turns. He's hitting really hard. Okay, so we have 3 of our planets, and we have our ult, so I'll be able to show you guys that. Let's go ahead and ult, and I want you guys to see this follow-up as well. What's going to happen. Now, the damage is going to be a little higher than normal because of this event boss, so do be mindful of that. But, so we did the ult. And then we rotated out those planets. And we did the single target. Right? And so that's pretty much the full rotation. And then you're going to rinse and repeat with the character. That's pretty much how the rotation is going to go. And I can even showcase the character in a 3-man team. That's kind of a 4-man team if you're able to get both those characters. If you can't, you swap out, you know, Shemaine with Baby Blue if you can. If you can't, let's go to our usual stomping grounds. Where is it? Here we go. Alright, and so a usual like 3-man team that you would typically set the characters up in.
Hold your horses. I'm coming. I'm here for a worn
Let me just get a pickle. It's just something. And then we'll have just a background NPC character just to fill a spot, you know. Alright, so let's show Kaalaa in a 3-man team. So it's gonna be the same thing. Kaalaa, Pickles, Tooth Fairy. Let's just go ahead. Use get some little confusion out there. Go ahead and build up some Moxie. Use some mythical meteors just to get some damage out. Even if you're saving for the penetration rate, don't be afraid to use like the mass attack if you're trying to wait for the penetration rate to get some burst, because you still want to build Moxie, right? Alright, let's go ahead and get that free merge. Some mass attack. Just gonna go ahead and get some Moxie on our Pickles. Okay. So, also, if you're using Geo, she's a great character to use Geo with because Geo allows you to get a like pretty much easy upgrade to level 3, and we all know that using the level 3 allows you to get that extra damage, the extra damage after you ult for the follow-up attack. So it is pretty strong, honestly. And we're gonna go ahead and just let's see if she can take him out. Hopefully. And we'll just move around some Moxie.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Here we go. Alright. So, right, so it's an interesting thing that we can do here, being that we are 3 planets. So if we ult, we'll use the mythical meteors. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that since there are multiple enemies, because there are times that you want to use the 3 planets if you're trying to get a little bit of healing in. You could do that, or if there's some AoE, you could do that as well, right? And then I can follow up with other attacks as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, get rid of that, and then since I'm wanting to get the penetration rate back, I'm gonna go ahead and use this level 2 and then do level 3. Ooh, I have actually. Forgot all about pickles. Think about all this planning.
Everything has
All right.
its cause and effect.
So 11k. And we're gonna do a follow-up attack. 6k, so it's 17. We did level 2 ability. So you see where you can get a lot of damage out with the character, and we rotated out the skill power. So have that buff. And we're gonna go ahead and just clean up with her.
Your ending is set. Tried it. Tried it. Hope I remember.
And if we were to get one little bit more of Moxie, we'd be able to ult, and we rotate that out. So you can see where she can do a decent bit of damage in a short amount of time. And in one turn, she's able to ult and then do another skill, which counts for her ult damage. Even though her ult damage doesn't get increased with that extra follow-up, it's basically part of her ult. It's really nice, especially if you take out one target, then that follow-up can help take out another target. I really like her kit. Her kit's really interesting. I know a lot of people are doubting the reasons to getting her because of the character that's sitting right here, but Kaalaa is a great single target attacker, mental damage. She's going to be really nice for you in the raid that's going to be coming up at 1.4, Mars Creation. She's going to be a really nice character for that. And Mars Creation is going to come up in CN, so we'll be able to showcase Kaalaa with her team before raids come out to global. So we'll be able to show her off. And I have her built pretty decently, how most of you would. I probably up the resonance a little bit more, and of course the Psychube, but Luxurious Leisure is my favorite. You can use others like Thunderous stuff on her, but Luxurious Leisure is kind of my favorite. But guys, this is all I have for Kaalaa. If you have any more questions, please let me know down in the comment section, or you can always join the live streams where I answer the most questions. And make sure to click the bell. I mean, you know, we're live. Also, you can go into the Discord because we have a really good time in the Discord. I do random giveaways at times. I don't post them anymore on my YouTube because I want to build a community. So I tell people, hey, join the Discord. You might be missing out on something. But it's all up to you guys. And also make sure to sub up to the channel because the channel is almost at 5K. Remember, there was another surprise in there as well. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lux out.